Well, good afternoon. Should we try that again? Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along to the European Championships, the FEI European Championships here in Gorla, Minore, and delighted to have you with us for this FEI Jumping European Championships. For you, for young riders, for juniors and children, and it is day one of competition of what is 6 days of medals that will be on offer. But it all begins, as we saw a little earlier, with these opening competitions for it was the children this morning. Now it's the turn of the young riders. The table C, which of course will set the ball rolling in terms of faults, allocations, and penalties for those going forward. The winner today will have the advantage of starting on 0. Then there'll be the fractional differences depending on their time differences ahead over the days that come forward with team and individual. But straight into the action, as you can see, because Kieran Nolan as going to get us started on 50 Shades of Grey. It's Ireland underway. He was on the children's team last year, which, of course, for Ireland finished 4th, although he was a gold medal winner in the ponies back in 2017 and a team bronze medalist in the children's back in 2019. Well, apologies, that was in the juniors. It was the young riders last year, my bad. But man that knows what it's like to compete for Ireland in championship teams. And he's taking on this track. Of course, no time. We'll see 4 seconds added, 13 obstacles, 16 jumping efforts around Andrea Colombo's course. There's plenty to make them think. 1 meter 45 is the height of the course. Tricky little plank, I think, is going to cause quite a few issues on that roll back to 11, and he catches himself into the double as well. So it's 8 seconds on the board at the moment. Add another 4, and the first out is a total of 12 seconds added in for Ireland there. So 87.08 is the final time. So seconds on the board. Next up, though, is going to be Slovenia's first rider. A big field, as you would imagine, in the young riders coming forward. This year we have a total of 24 different nations entered across 87 riders. It'll be fascinating to see if Belgium can continue to dominate like they did last season. Well, this is the turn of our second out. Slovenia's Andres Siambric riding here with Quinton 17. These two winning the Young Riders Grand Prix last year in Samrin. Got a nice little rhythm going here. Lovely little Italian flag trays. I like that with the red, the white, and the green. Comes to 7A and B. Double going up the side of the arena. Back to that beautiful looking wall with all of the sort of checkered gaps within it. Now that rollback turn, which I think is absolutely key. You've got to give yourself enough room, which they do, and then set yourself up. Of course, there's time to be won and lost there. Sometimes just taking it a little bit easier can actually pay off dividends in the longer term, finishing with 4 seconds to add into the time. So 79.61 is the final time with the seconds added in. So 2 gone. It's rapid fire here. The course certainly quick to get round, and they're pushing on as you would expect. It can be so important to go well today, get yourself onto the best possible score to start, because ultimately, if you keep jumping clears after today, come those sort of individual finals, today can actually make such a big difference to how you're in a position to take or aim for a medal on those final days. Well, this is Germany now with Mick Honhorst riding Clarimo's Girl. Fourth European Youth Championship for Mick, having won team gold when he was in the children's category back in 2018. As a junior, twice, including last year. Now, first year in the young riders category. Part of the Nations Cup team that took the win in Hagen in the young riders back in June. Stretching on those 5 strides there from 9 to 10. And round we come, keeping their eye on the plank. Gets to the final fence on the 7 as well to leave them all up and set a clear round in terms of jumping. But in all honesty, 81-83 is a bit slower than what we saw from Andres Siambrix. So despite the fence difference, one going clear, one having 4, with it being seconds added, the Italian rider there going into second place. So that was in fact Filippo. My apologies there. Filippo Jordan Paragon Crispo. We'll find out more about Mick Harost in due course. Meanwhile, it is going to be the turn of Jules van Hooydonk riding Minte van der Bischkop. Belgium looking now to get things underway after, as I say, a successful Oliva Nova European Championships in Spain last year. This young man was on the children's team back in 2018. These two part of the Nations Cup team that finished in second in Hagen. Many of the teams using that as their sort of final selection of riders. Gets there on the 8. Steady to the last, jumps it nicely though and leaves them up, and Jules goes clear. 80.6, so he's a second away from that leading time. Shows you how fast the Slovenian rider Andres went with Quinton, because Jules van Hooydonk there and Minte van der Bischkop for Belgium, leaving them all up, but still a second away in terms of time. So there's a lot of time to come around this course if you can find it. Next to go, it'll be this partnership for Poland. Juliana Suska riding Kaskadus. Kaskadus next forward, first of Poland's team here. Another rider in Nations Cup action already this year, jumped to second place on the podium in Samarin in the Young Riders back in May. Also was on the podium when they finished third here in the Young Riders in Gorla back in April. Team bronze medalist in children's category back in 2017 in Samarin. 6th Youth European Championships for Juliana. Part of the Young Riders in Oliva Nova last year with Kaskadus. Jumping a nice confident round at the moment, rolling back round, plenty of space, giving themselves all the room then they need. Still clear. They'll be close in terms of time, but a little bit down on the leading duo. And that 80.30, in fact, puts them right into the middle of the leading duo. They find their way up into second place. So a good start there with Kaskadus for Poland as well. So impressive riding. Oliver Pisarik now rides for the Czech Republic with Centolago. This is Oliver's third Youth European Championship, having ridden as a junior in Villamora back in 2021 and also as a junior last year in Livanova. Oh, gets caught out. 4 seconds added on already. Just finding it a little bit difficult getting as well a fence down at the end of that line, that double 10A and B. Did well, got quite deep into the plank. First part of the double, bringing 12 seconds up now. Clears the last and stops the clock, though, for a final time of 93.65 when you add in the penalty seconds, 12 seconds added in there. So that was Oliver Pisarak. Still then, 79.61 leads, that with 4 seconds added into it. Well, there's the bell for our next to go. This is Turkey now. And higher, Yekadiraz. The ride is Chili Palmer. Lots of championship experience, including Balkan Championship medals. He's taken individual and team medals, including a team gold when he was riding in the children's category in the Balkan Championships back in 2016. In terms of the Youth Europeans, rode in the Young Riders last year, also as a junior in 2019. Just playing a little bit cautious, just keeping a nice steady rhythm. Keeping good control can be relatively economical with the turn. It's gone for the clear over and above the speed, and the clear they've managed. 82.57 into fifth. Taya Yekadrikas are there and Chili Palmer riding for Turkey. So 82.57 their final time. Still chasing 79.61. Now we move on and it's Italy's turn. Already one Italian round and in fourth at the moment. Now Alicia Chimeri riding here with Calandro Z. Alicia Chimeri goes next. Last rode in the European Championships, Youth Europeans, back in 2017 in Samarin in the children's category. Of course, the children got underway this morning. That year on the team that finished in 5th place. Talking of 5th places, with this horse 5th in the two-star Grand Prix in Bezzoli just a couple of weeks ago. These two also jumping in the 5-star, a couple of the 5-star classes in Rome back at the end of May in Piazza di Siena. Just found their way onto that front rail. Just a little bit out of position. The horse just sort of tipped its feet forward. It is just the 4 seconds to add at the moment, though. And another ride around in around about 80 seconds because the time is 84.4 as they go across the line with the seconds added in there for Alicia Chimeri and Calandro. So that's the second of the riders already that we've seen for the home nation here, Italy, in Gorla Minore. Next to go, it's the first of the young riders for Spain. Casio 31 is the horse. Maya de la Hoya Fernandez Longoria is the rider. Was a team gold medalist and individual silver medalist in the juniors back in 2019. Part of the young rider team that finished 4th in Villamora in 2021. They were on the team as well last year. Well, they take it back. They have brought Mick Harhorst into the arena. Mick, I think, may have lost a shoe. So this is Germany's start with Clarimo's Girl, who was due in a little earlier. Apologies for any confusion, but it is just updated. So Germany's first on course at the moment, still clear. We'll go back to Maya in a moment. Ah, nice, but it is still 4 to add, even with a time then of 80.79. It becomes 84.79 for Mick Harhorst there and Clarimo's Girl, Germany's first rider. So it is Slovenia that lead from Poland and Belgium, the 1, 2, 3 here as it stands. So now it'll be Maya de la Hoya Fernandez Longoria riding with Casio 31. So Spain next up. As we said, a rider with plenty of experience at championships. Has medalled in the juniors. Well, that fence coming out of the double is costly. 4 seconds to add. But Maya keeping it to just the 4 as they come into this final double, and that becomes 8 seconds now. It's a relatively steady round. Yeah, it becomes 91.19 with the 8 seconds added in there. Maya de la Hoya, Fernandez, Longora, finishing them with 2 fences on the ground. So nothing adjusts at the top. That goes into 9th place. And the next to go will ride for Denmark. Because it's going to be the turn of Mr. Peterson riding Vincel, making her Youth European Championship debut. These 2 winners of the Grand Prix and the Young Riders in Samrin back in May. Lovely jump over the wall, now coming down to number 9. 5 strides to the double. Upright in, parallel out. Well, they land with a clear round, 70. I just lost the time. The time flew on and off the screen quicker than I could blink. 82.57. No. It's 82.50. Yeah, it is 82.57, is it? I think that went into 5th place. Petra Takas next to go. This is Hungary's turn. Hungary here with a corner pass. Petra, who rode in the Young Riders last year and the Juniors back in 2021. Well, just to update, it was actually 77.26 the time for Mr. Peterson, because that has now gone into the lead. And Andres Kianberkik is back into 2nd. So Juliana Siska into 3rd. It's now Denmark on top, and then Slovenia and Poland. And that is 4 to add. Roll the turn now. Back we come. Again, taking it quite steady. They've got 16 seconds to add on at the end of this round as it currently stands and make that 20. Oh, they come to the last. and they finish with 28 seconds to add on to their time. 118.18 for Petr Takash and Connor Pass. It's a difficult day there for the first of the Hungarian riders. So 77.26 is the best of the times. Next to go, hidden behind the tree, is a young man that is riding in his 8th Youth European Championship. He is twice an individual medalist, silver as a junior, and individual bronze in the children's category. He's also a team gold medalist. He's got 2 team silvers, 2 team bronze medals as well. It's Great Britain's Oliver Fletcher, first of the British contingent then. And he rides Ivy William, or 4th William. Willem looking strong at the moment. Skinny little plank, isn't it? Leading time 77.26. Certainly using experience at the front of the line, the British team. Round and back to this plank, and unfortunately he just catches the plank. He tried to come a little tighter than some of the others have, but in terms of time, I tell you what, even with the 4 seconds to add, he could still be good enough for the lead, and I think it is. 75.45 shows you just how fast he was going. It was a time of 71.45, even with the 4 seconds going on to the time, which I'm sure will be of some regret. But ultimately, in these early stages, Ollie Fletcher and Di Willem has put the time up there for the others to chase, 75.45. But that is with those 4 seconds added in. So great round of jumping. Next to go, looking for more great rounds of jumping, because it's the turn now of the first of the riders coming forward for France in this Young Riders European Championships. And this already on course now is Ramatu Orogargadu, riding here with GFE Excalibur de la Tour Vidal. Rode in the French team back in 2021 in Villamora when the team finished in 6th. They were 18th individually that year. They were 6th as well in the Grand Prix here in Gorla in the Young Riders back in April. Just taking that slightly wider line. I have to say, a huge amount of time. I think that's what Oliver Fletcher just showed us can be won and lost on that turn. Okay, it didn't work out because he had it down, but it certainly worked out in shaving off valuable seconds. Lands and finishes with a final time of 82.04. Ramatu Aragaru, and that was the first of the French team out and about. Great Britain then leading from Denmark and Slovenia. Next to go is Romania, and this is Stefaniana Sturkera Schumann riding Kada van der Schlagerhofer Z. Romania's turn, and this is another rider with huge experience as a team rider, both at the Balkan Championships, where she has medalled, and also at a Youth European level, where she was part of the junior team in Livanova last year. Very rapid start to this round, no doubt about it, from Stefania. Did well to stay on. She really lost her balance. Yes, the fence went, but more importantly, just having to take a much sort of wider line, just taking a few minutes to compose herself. I say minutes, more seconds, but she did well to stay on, in all fairness. She recovered nicely. It started off strongly. Sadly, that one little problem at the end of that line over 10B is what's cost her, and it becomes a score of 4 seconds added in. So that was Stefania Starker-Schumann there, riding for Romania. Well, the Italian riders seem to all be stacked quite early at the moment in this class, because we've got another one now. It's going to be the turn of Martina Simoni. One Italian rider at the moment, 6th, the other in 9th. And now the third of the Italian riders, part of the 2019 junior team when this young lady finished individually 11th. Also rode in the children's team back in 2017 in Samrin. Well, bell's going to go, and the seconds will be added in. Of course, you're just losing time in a table C for the first of the refusals, but if you have, like we saw there, the need for the bell to be rung and a fence to be rebuilt, the 6 seconds is once again added on to your time. And then the clock will restart where it was stopped, which is at the point of takeoff, basically. No trouble on the second attempt. Brick out of the wall, first to do that. While also getting caught out with another fence falling. So seconds added on, and sadly not to be today. Martina Simoni and Kashgon E there, the combination for Italy. Yeah, 102.84 with the seconds added on. Next to go, it's going to be a chance for the Dutch as they are going to get their championship in the Young Riders underway. The Netherlands' first is Irish Michels, riding here with Isaac. 2016, Iris was part of the Children's European Championship team in Mill Street. In 2022, part of the Young Riders team in Livanova, when the Dutch team last year finished in 5th place. Recently jumping with the horse she's on today in the two-star Grand Prix in Rotterdam on home soil. They finished a runner-up in that big class. Ooh, doesn't like the look of the wall. Come around the corner and taken a real disliking to it. Time just ticking on. There's no seconds to add at the moment. Beautiful jump over the last 88.12. It was just the time that Iris lost with the circle of the wall that's pushed the time up. Otherwise, they'd done nothing wrong. Just outside the top 10, goes into 13th place. So that was the first of the riders for the Netherlands. Next to go will be the second of the riders for Great Britain. Of course, Oliver Fletcher leading the way for the British at the moment, despite his fence falling. And now it's Alexander McLean next up with Gino F. Put in some good rounds, certainly in Compiègne recently. Went very, very well indeed. Championship debut as well for Alex. First Youth Europeans. He was fifth in that Grand Prix in France at the end of April. Riding very confidently. A little bit of a slip there now, just needs to find that balance. And just like Oliver Fletcher, does exactly the same thing. Goes for the slightly tighter turn, and now the score's moving up because that's another fence down as well. Still good in terms of the time, no questions about that, but it is 8 seconds that have been added in. So it is time added on for that second combination for Great Britain. That was Alex McLean riding Gino F. 79.90 is good enough to go into fourth place, even with the seconds added in. So it shows you just how fast these riders were pushing. A lot of jumping to come, as the next onto the course is G. Virginia Blues rider. This is Sky Moroshkov. Fourth European outing, Youth European Championship outing for Sky. Being part of the Young Riders team for the last 2 seasons. This is her third time. Had a good win in Rotterdam recently. Doing what she needs to do. So far, so good. Still clear. I have to say, this is looking relatively smart in terms of time. It's going to be nothing to add if she jumps the last, and that she's done. Where does that put her? 75.46 is the time, and that goes into second. Merest margin behind Oliver Fletcher. Of course, he's sitting there with the 4 seconds added onto his time. But that was a lovely little round of jumping from Sky Motorskov there for the Netherlands. Vasco Escudero next to go. It's Portugal to get their Young Riders campaign underway, riding Mills Sheridan. Vasco jumped on home soil when the Youth Europeans were in Portugal 2 years ago when the tournament took place in Vila Moura. It was a junior on that occasion, also jumped in the children's in 2017. in Samrin. Just the 4 seconds to add on as it stands. That becomes 8. Well, 8 seconds is 89.94. So outside of the top 10 for Portugal's first there, Vasco Escudero and Mills Sheridan. Oliver Fletcher, Sky Monoskov, Maestro Pedersen, Andres Kianberek, Alexander McLean, and then Juliana Suska. That is your top 6 as it currently stands. Chasing a time of 75.45, and there is just 1/100th of a second between the top 2. So it really is as tight as you could ever want to imagine at the moment. Next to go, it's Finland. Aurora Vasama riding Canto Bruno. Aurora, who rode as a child in that category in 2017 and 2021 in the juniors. Sixth in the Grand Prix, in the two-star Grand Prix in Rotterdam. They're also on the Nations Cup team together in Drammen. That, when I say Nations Cup, was actually the 3-star EEF Nations Cup, where the team finished in 6th. Just the 4. And one more fence left to jump here for Finland. And they finish with 8 seconds, sadly, at the end to be added on with that front rail coming off the final fence. But nevertheless, it was a great try for the Finnish combination. 85.99, putting them again outside of the top 10 riders. I remind you, all of the times converted eventually via the multiplication method and into percentage penalty differences, which will, of course, give everyone a score going forward. Now, this is a chance for the Danish. Once again, Maria-Louise Risgaard-Kemp. Maria riding Forever Blackjack. Good strong round of jumping so far as they go through that double. It's hard to tell from the angle we're at because it's a triple bar to an upright, that double. Now down into the final double, still clear for Marie. Beautifully done. 85.27 is the time, and it'll stick because there is nothing to add. But it is quite a steady round, but it is a clear round, which always helps. So there we have it. That was the combination for Marie-Louise Richard-Kemp. We're going to move on to another combination next to go, because this is Croatia's Jospia Kletek riding Blow Up de Banuel. Another rider that says won team medals at Balkan Championships. As of yet, not at a Youth Europeans, having ridden in the children's category back in 2016. And also the juniors in the Netherlands in 2019, her last junior European Championship outing. Fabulous effort, but it is 12 seconds added on, and that putting pay to a otherwise good round of jumping with the time, which leaves Oliver Fletcher still leading. So that was a great try for the Croatian rider with Blow Up de Banuel. It's another rider for Italy. Told you they're all stacked up early in the draw, the Italians, just the way it fell out the hat. But it is Guillermo Casseri next to go in the young riders. And, of course, very successful. As a junior, took the individual bronze medal in 2017 in Samrin, part of the great Italian team gold medal that year. Was also, as a junior, the year prior on the silver medal winning team in Mill Street. Last year, young riders just missed out on the podium individually, finishing in 4th place. Giacomo Casseri. I'm going to come PS this ride. To the wall. No, just the 4 to add, 81.65 with the seconds added in. Goes into the top 10 though for the Italian star there, and Giacomo Casseri, 81.65 will put him into 8th place as the best of the Italian riders. Because what have we got? Filippo Jordan Bagagrisso there is sat in 9th. The 4 seconds being costly. Next to go is Swiss rider Linus Hanselmann, riding then with Ibiza. Another rider that has a medal from the Youth Europeans as a junior in Villamora just a couple of years ago. rode on the junior team as well last year, is now stepping up into the young riders for the first time. 2 years as a children's youth European finalist, then 3 years in the juniors. Now coming back round towards the plank, keeping their eye as tight as they can, but seconds just keep adding on. As they land over the final fence with the 12 seconds added into the time, it is 84.03, so pushing them outside of the top 10. So that was Linus Hanselman riding there for the Swiss. Next to go will be Johanna Bachmann riding Chinook 8. It's going to be the turn of Germany. Johanna Beckman then goes next. Rode twice in the ponies. In fact, I think 3 times in the ponies. And then stepped up into the juniors over the 2021. Last year, part of the Young Rider team silver medal for Germany. She finished individually inside the top 20. Johanna Beckman here, Chinook. Pushing on well, still clear. Germany's second rider. Again, trying to turn tight. Found a nice stride when she got there. Still clear here for Germany. Wouldn't have been too far away either from Oliver Fletcher's leading time, 75.04. It is faster than Oliver Fletcher's leading time, and it is faster by about half a second or just under. So it is Johanna Beckman now that goes into the lead on Chinook 8. The 4 seconds there for Ollie Fletcher really costing him, because that was 0.4 of a second that saw Germany now take the lead. Germany, Great Britain and the Netherlands are 1, 2, 3. Well, Dora Wagner goes next. Kali Top. This is the turn of the Hungarian rider, riding in her 4th Youth European Championship. Part of the 4th place finishing team. That good result for Hungary back in 2016 in the children's category. As then for the last couple of years, 21 and 22, been riding in the young riders. Great to see so many people up there watching and enjoying today, keeping a little bit of shade on themselves as well. Quite a steady round, but at the moment still a clear round. A little pop over that. Well, Dora and Callie top here doing a very competent round. Very good clear round at the moment. Well, 4 seconds is there now to be added on. Does jump the last. It is just the 4:90.31 is the final time on the clock for Dora Vagana and Callie Top. Germany, Great Britain, and the Netherlands are 1, 2, 3. There's the next to go. Alex over the far side. 2022, of course, part of the team in Olivenova, where he finished individually in the top 20. Round to this triple bar. Nicely done over the second part. Keeping it nice and smooth on the rollback turn. Still clear. 75.04 is the leading time. They could well be under 80 seconds here, which will see them move into the top 6. That they look like they are. 78.01. It's good enough to go top 5 at the moment for Spain's best of their riders so far. Alex Cordeneliero there and Jano. So nicely performing. Nice performance there. Next to go will take us into the break, or the first of the 10-minute breaks. It's going to be Hungary once more. That is Altartix riding Ivy League. This is Alice's 6th Youth European Championship outing. Once in the children's category, also twice as a junior. This is her 3rd outing in the Young Riders squad. On the 8 and make that 12 seconds to add on. Looping back, coming round. 4 jumping efforts left in this round. The plank just adding on to the seconds. Well, the last makes it 24 seconds added on to the round there of Alice Thix and Ivy League for Hungary. So there is a long way to go. Still, what, 2/3 of this class yet to take place, but we have finished the first third. Therefore, we are going to take the first of the arena grading breaks here. It's a class led by Germany in this opening leg of the FEI European Championships for the young riders, the opening round of jumping. Germany's Johanna Beckman leading from Oliver Fletcher for Great Britain, and Sky Moroshkov sits in 3rd for the Netherlands. We'll take a short break 10 minutes no more, and we'll come back and join you in a moment. We certainly are back, and we are ready and raring to go with Joanna Beckman leading for Germany from Oliver Fletcher, Great Britain, and Sky Monoskov for the Netherlands, the 1, 2, 3. Next to go, and there is plenty more still to go, I should say, in this class, because there's 87 of them coming forward. We've only jumped, what have we jumped, 30. It's the turn of Lithuania's Evita Vismirt riding here with Kuntes. So underway with the next in this FEI European Jumping Championships of Gorla Minore for 2023 for the youth riders. This is Evita's debut at the Youth European Championships. These two, though, did jump in the 3-Star Nations Cup in Deauville, also in Ramen, in Ugahan. So they've been putting in some good team performances in the senior ranks already. Confident riding so far. Round they come, get that just sort of inside line, brings them back round to the wall. Five strides down to the double, running on a little bit, and gets caught out going into the double. A little bit too forward, now going on that slightly wide turn back to the plank. Still just the 4 seconds to add on as it stands. And 79.22 is what it becomes. 83.22 is what it finally rests on, with the 4 seconds added in for Evita and Quintes there. Just that one fence costing them. So push them down the order a little. We're going to go to Sweden now. I wonder if this was the first of the... It was, I think, looking back. Yeah, it is the first of the Swedish riders. Joel Thorsten riding here with Joker EK. Rode in the Young Riders Nations Cup in Zuidveld in the Netherlands. Has been jumping well in the 4-Star down in Arezzo. Lines up the triple bar, 2 strides through and over the upright. Now just keeping that nice forward rhythm going. Looking good at the moment. Really attacking this course. Oh, got really deep. Didn't really have the stride that they wanted, but somehow this horse doing a superhuman effort. Lovely round if they clear the last. It is a good round. 76.87 goes into 4th place for Sweden. Joel Thorsten and Joker EK. And you think they perhaps just lost a second with that turn back to the plank. Despite going a little bit wider on the rollback, they just found themselves uncomfortably positioned where they found their stride really deep. So you're just losing a little bit of that sort of momentum in the air. But it was a great effort from Joel. Joker EK then moving up, and there, as I say, into 4th, I feel. Now, for the Dutch, who are going well so far, Vleughelman is next in. Riding here with Catecu de Hautbriel, next of the Dutch team who rode in 2019 in the Pony Europeans, finished 10th that year in Strasbourg. Recently jumping in Rotterdam in the 2-star. Round to the wall, just coming on that slightly wider line. And then down towards the double quite quickly. Back to this key turn then towards the plank. You just watch from the hoof prints of where the others have been, whether they're coming wide or turning tightly. On this occasion, we go the wider way round, but it still cost them 4 seconds. Flo Holman here for the Netherlands. And the last to bring 8 seconds up as 89.85 is the final time. So an 81-second time, getting 8 seconds added on. So an expensive couple of fences. Next to go, Spain. And they've already got Alex Cordina Liera sitting in 6th place. Spain now with Miguel Rubia Garcia. In fact, there's 2 Spanish riders out of the next 3 to go. This is FX de Marin. Miguel making his Youth European Championship debut. Jumped in the young riders in France and also here in Italy back in April. Still clear. Again, that plank is so costly. It's such a tricky little fence that Andrea Colombo, our course designer, has placed in. He's also getting caught out coming out of the double late on. So 8 seconds again added on, 90.68 as he goes across the line for Miguel Honrubia Garcia there for Spain. Spain coming up again in a moment, but before that it will be Monaco. Zinguia Lopez de la Osa Franco goes next, riding Jade. Rode in the Young Rider Youth Europeans last year in Alivanova. They were also on the juniors back in 2021 in Villamora. They were jumping in Monaco just a couple of weeks back in the 2-star alongside the Globals. Had a top 10 finish there with this horse. Keeping that rhythm and balance nicely contained, coming down that line. Around we come, back to the plank. Certainly not wasting too much time on the turn. Got a lovely stride as well. So far, so good. It is just this final fence for them to clear. Big leap over that. It's 80.84, and that's just shy of the top 10. It goes into 11th place for that partnership of Ingiero Lopez, De La Osa Franco, and Jade. So great round from the Monegasque rider to just miss out on the top 10, but I think he'll be very, very pleased. So back to Spain, as we said, Diego Ramos Minero now. Riding here with Octado CSG. Diego, who rode on the team that took the gold medal back in 2019 as a junior in the Netherlands. He finished fourth individually that year. He was also on the team that finished fourth in his first year in Young Riders in Villamora in 2021. Spanish team again last year. Just being careful as they can down into that double. Clock ticking on, but still clear. Coming a little tighter than we've seen. Oof, got away with that somehow. It's just, I mean, normally you touch a plank and it falls. Somehow they got away with touching it and it wobbled. Not going to be far off in terms of the time here. That was a great round for the Spanish rider. So 75.41, I believe it was. And that, I think, goes up into second place there for the partnership of those two for Spain. Diego Ramos Minero, 75.41 it was indeed, into second place. 75.04 leads. There's then 0.05 of a second, so 5/100ths of a second between second, third, and fourth. It is very, very tight at the top. Well, the next to go will ride for the Dutch. The Netherlands now down in fourth place after that last round. And this is Mats Thijssen. He riding here with joviality. Top 10 finish individually last time out, which was in 2021 in the Young Riders. That was in Villamora for Mans. Jumping in the 5-star classes most recently in Rotterdam. They've also just had that fence down as well, but so they've been jumping on some of the 3-star Nations Cup teams. Jumps the plank without any trouble, but it's those other fences at the moment that are costing them. Lovely stride over the last. It's 88.20 on the clock. Those 8 seconds expensive for Mans. So that, again, missing out on the top 10. So we still have Jana Bachmann leading the way for Germany. Now it's the turn of our next to go, because this is the Czech Republic's Petra Panikova riding Zita. European Championships already for this young lady, both 2018 in the children's category and 2022 last year in the juniors, now in young riders for the first time. Just the four at the moment. Did well, was sort of getting pulled into that double. Now we're flying along towards the finish here. What a shame for the seconds that have to be added in, because that 78.04 was otherwise good enough for the lead, but it isn't on the grounds of those seconds added. It'll go into 8th place, 78.04 for Petra Paradnikova there for the Czech Republic. So still a good round. I'm sure they'll be over the moon. But seconds adding in suddenly cost you. The only rider at the moment in the top few that's there with seconds added in was Oliver Fletcher, who sits in third. Next to go, Czech Republic once more. Natalie Korarova riding Oliver Oliveld. Also making her Youth European Championship debut. Top 5 in the Grand Prix in the Young Riders in San Marino back in May, where they also were on the winning Nations Cup team. Just the 4 at the moment. Keeping it quite steady. Very neat and tidy over the plank. So they finish with 4 seconds added on, 84.42. That was the Czech Republic's Natalie Kovarova there and Oliver Oliveld. So still nothing changing towards the top. Germany, Spain, Great Britain, the 1, 2, and 3. Maximilian Pakinti next to go. It's Poland's turn. Ferrari K is the name of the horse for this stallion. Where are they? Oh, there they are over the far side, focusing over. They were on the Young Riders team 12 months ago in Spain. Jumped in the Young Riders in the Netherlands. Again, another rider on 4 so far. Young man from Poland coming into these final 3 jumping efforts, and first of them down makes it 8 to add at the moment. So 12 seconds to add into the time, 92.46, an expensive end to what started off so well for that partnership of Ferrari K and Maximilian Bacinti. Sweden have another chance with this next rider to go. Joel Torreston has already been, sits in 5th place. Very, very strong round from that opening rider for Sweden. Now Philip Schwitzer riding Alida Nike. And Alida Nike next up. This has been Philip's ride in the previous 2 years of youth young riders. European Championships, Villamora and in Oliva, the ride on both those occasions. So Philip Schwitzer going next with Alida Nike. Just sitting quietly, letting the fences come to them early on. Now to this triple bar, just jumps a little bit to the right on the way in. Coming down across the middle. Philip Schwitzer still clear as it stands. This will be a really big test though on the rollback here to the plank, which jumps now, final 2 fences. Potentially looking towards quite a good time here. They could get sub 80 seconds. They do get sub 80 seconds. So that's a great try from Philip Schwitzer. Another good round for Sweden as well. Goes into 10th place. So Alida Nike looking very, very nice indeed. And Sweden now with 2 riders inside the top 10 here in this opening speed competition to start things off for the Young Rider European Championships. Sophia Stud goes next. Now from Sweden we turn to Denmark, staying in the Nordic region of Europe. Sophia Stud up next. Holstein's Mantina is the ride on the team for the Nations Cup, Fontainebleau. Coming down, jumping that first, and on they go. Round you come, left-handed from 1, 2, back to 3. Sophia's first time at these European Championships. Really nice. 8 seconds though added on. Sophia Stud as she finishes there for Denmark with Holstein's Martina. Belgium go next. Belgium up with this combination of Leon Bruchiet riding Collion Tovidal, part of the gold medal winning team in the juniors last year with this horse. Top 10 individual finish as well. Belgium, of course, absolutely dominant last year at these youth Europeans in the juniors and young riders. Nice strong round at the moment. A lot of tests still to come. It's a lovely turn and a lovely stride there. Really nice. This is a really good round of jumping. It's going to be a very good round of jumping for Belgium's Leon Brucheret there and Collion Tovidal. 76.41 goes into 5th place. So Leon Brucheret there into 5th place ahead of Joel Torreston for Sweden. Nicely done. Now another rider with plenty of experience because it's Gilles Muller, Giovanna CB. Ridden in children's, juniors and young riders previously. This is Gilles' 6th Youth European Championship. Quite rapid in these early stages as well. It's not holding back. Still clear now. 4 jumping efforts left. Gets tight on the turn and unfortunately is undone by the plank, as we've seen happen before. And then the double that follows makes it 8 seconds to add. And what was the time of 79.13, of course, will increase with the seconds added in. So that was Gilles Muller riding there for Switzerland. You think 8 seconds added on there, 79.14, would have been well into the lead. In fact, without fences going down, that would have been the quickest time of everybody. Now we have a rider for the Czech Republic next to go. It is in the young riders now. Mariana Mishakolova riding Departure S. 5th Youth Europeans for Mariana. Twice in the children's category, twice in the juniors. And a stop. Very strange. Not seen many of those already in this class. Unfortunately, though, it's Mariana that is suffering. The horse now really not looking like it wants to go forward. It's looking a little unsettled, but no, just a little bit of positive reinforcement. But they're not going to play today. It's elimination for Mariana. So out of luck for the Czech Republic. Riders will still get a score to carry forward to tomorrow, or I should say, what day are we on? Tuesday. To Thursday when the young riders are back on. They will still get a score, but it is a mark of 20 above whatever the lowest score of those riders completing is. Or the highest score in this case, because it's the highest. The lowest score will be the 0 from whoever wins this. Marie Christine Seversta riding Gaffney, Austria. Another rider with plenty of experience. Twice in the Children's Europeans, 3 times in the Juniors Young Riders last year. Ooh, doesn't like the wall at all. Suddenly came around the corner and saw that and really took a disliking to it. Well, they finished with 8 seconds added on, 96.10 being their final time. So that was Marie Christine Sarrasta there riding for Austria. Next to go will be the turn of a rider for Belgium. Mathieu is next. Mathieu Bourdieu-Huy are riding Oscar de Homage. Oscar, the home page. So Oscar the Homage and Mathieu about to start here for Belgium. Belgium here with a debutant at championship level. Still clear. Best at the moment for Belgium, sitting in 5th with Lyon there and Colliant to Vidal. This is still clear though. Good round. Very good round. Clear round. 76.56 goes into 6th place for Mathieu and Oscar the Homage. So Belgium now with riders in 5th and in 6th. So Mathieu Bourdieu going right up the order. Next to go, Hungary. Hamanta B. And Shimishka next to go. Another with a championship debut here this week. They were on the team that finished 6th in Lompershausen in that Young Riders Nations Cup in Austria. They go round with 4 to add, 88.39. Anna and Hamanta B, so 88.39. So despite the challenges, Joanna Beckman leading for Germany. Diego Ramos in second and Ollie Fletcher sitting in third. As we move across now to another chance for the Swedish riders. Beata Hermelin riding Obsession Night. So Sweden at the moment, Rajal Torsten sitting in 7th place, have had that good round. Now their third rider's turn. Fifth European Championships here for Beata. First time at young rider level. Nicely done over the wall. Coming down now towards fence 9, then that 5-stride distance to the double. Well, I think the plank just caught them out off the corner. Suddenly it was there in front of them and they just had to keep going and circling round. Jumps it nicely on the second attempt. Still then nothing to add, but the extra seconds certainly going to pay the penalty with their overall result. And they land with nothing to add, so 82.04, but that did include that circle. So just outside the top 20, they go into 21st place. Well, this is going to be the turn of David Mosse now for Austria, riding Chica Blue 2. So another chance for the Austrian riders. David next to go, third European Championships for him in the young riders, having ridden in Vilamora and in Oliva. Just twisted a little bit over the triple bar, and that has gone down for David Mosse. So the fence is falling. And 4 seconds at the moment for this combination for Austria. Well, again, a very good round, but therefore 86.59. It was 2 fences down on that course in the end. It's 8 seconds added in, and outside of the top 30 for David Mosse there, and Chica Blue 2. 86.59, the final time. Next to go, we have another chance for Belgium. The Belgium riders currently, we've got 1 in 5th, 1 in 6th. It's been a very strong start for a team that have, of course, gone so well in recent years. This is Tristan Grisson riding Naturel Van Het Lethoff Z, part of that gold medal winning team in the Young Riders last year, also part of the gold medal winning team in 2021 in the juniors, when he also became the individual silver medal winner. And on all occasions, those medals won with this horse. It's what you would expect to be one of the combinations to watch here. have to say, they're showing, oh dear, how did they get away with that? They got themselves so deep. They went for the turn and somehow got away with it. This horse and rider combination showing all of their skill and ability. And I tell you what, this is quick. This is very quick indeed. It is the new leading round. Tristan Guisard, Belgium, absolutely on form once again here at these Youth European Championships. What a brilliant day they're having, and that 73.40 now leads the way. So Joanna Beckman, who has led for quite some time, at long last, one of the riders leaves the fences up and jumps them clear and quick. And that is Belgium's silver medalist from the juniors 2 years ago, twice on the gold medal winning team in the last couple of years. And I tell you what, with that level of form already now, Belgium with a rider in front, and of course with one in sixth and one in seventh. So really, as much as today has no bearing on the team as a whole, it certainly shows well for their individual prospects and what great form they're in going ahead this week. Now let's have a little look at France. We get to have a really strong look here because we start with Alice Lieni riding Emerald Sit, and it's 3, if I've got this right, for France, all coming in a row. So part of the junior team in Villamora 2 years ago when the French team in the juniors finished in fourth, and Alice herself finishing individually fourth, just one position shy of a medal. Well, this is clear as well. This isn't going to be far off, is it? This is another brilliant round. France are flying to start with 74.89. It is into second place. Wow, what a couple of rounds this has turned into here in the opening day of competition for the young riders. We saw Tristan Guisard for Belgium go into the lead. That hasn't changed, but Joanna Beckman, who was in third, is now in third. She was leading for quite some time, but 74.89. Alice Lieni for France going very, very well. We're going to stay with France now because it's William Ligier de la Prede riding Galli. Galili next to go. William making his European Championship debut here in Italy. On the winning Nations Cup team for the French here in the Young Riders back at the beginning of April with this horse. So there's every reason to expect a good round, but that they've had what I believe is an early fence down. Good jumping, 75.41, just the 4 seconds added on. Otherwise, that was going to take over at the lead as well. That's got into fourth. And Willem Ligier de la Prede there and Galilei showing just how strong France are as well. And suddenly you really are seeing what an intense battle this is going to be over the coming days, because there are some brilliant teams. We've seen great jumping from Sweden, great jumping from the Netherlands, Great Britain, but it's and Spain in there as well. Belgium looking good, and France looking very, very strong indeed. And as I say, this is just day one. This is the table C that, of course, will set the individual rankings, the scores worked out after this to send them forward in those individual classes. And teams, though, will, of course, have its own outcome when everybody starts on zero in a couple of days' time. It's on course now is Charlotte Chilossi riding LB Zonel the second. Third in a row for France. Another new face here at the Youth European Championships. Won the Grand Prix in Cabourg not that long ago. Well, sadly, the 4 seconds is a bit more costly there. 82.99 is the final time, and with it really being quite as tight as it is, that goes down into 27th place. 6 more before we take a little pause in proceedings. In those 6, we've got Poland next. We've got 2 for Great Britain in there. We've got Germany, Denmark and Norway all in the mix before we get to the next of the breaks. After that break, there's still a final third of this class to get through. The speed and handiness part of the test here for the FEI European Championships for the young riders. Now it is Poland. Lena Mrosukazak riding here with Jacques Toulon, Van der Ritvien. Another debutant at the Youth Europeans, rode on the team at the young riders in the Netherlands. Just a nice balance round at the moment, not overcooking things, but is on 4 seconds to add. Four seconds it is to add. 80.71 is the time. Top 20 there for Lena and Toulon. So onwards we go, and 5 more before the break. It's table C. So important to the riders in terms of their individual medal hopes later in the week, because as I said a little earlier, if you keep jumping clears after this, it's today that ultimately will set those small percentage differences, those small differences within your faults ranking. So really important to be right the way towards the top. The winner today gets that 0 score going forward. Now to the British combination. It is Nicole Lockwood-Anderson riding Chatondo. Nicole, who rode in the Pony Europeans, that gold medal winning team back in 2018 on Gangnam Style. She's been in fabulous form though recently, including having a win at Hickstead in the 4-star at the Derby meeting. She was second with this horse in one of those classes. Always very different when they're riding as part of a team when you get to these championships. And unfortunately, she was just coming in on the angle, and sadly for her, she's just run out to the left-hand side. She was just coming across a little bit too tight. Very unusual, having seen these two jump quite a bit recently, to see something like that happen. But now just keeping her composure, as I was just saying as well, it can be so different. You have your individual form all the time, but then suddenly the team jacket goes on, and well, you know you're working together over the coming days, and that just adds that completely different dynamic. That pressure then begins to build, and you can get your good moments and your bad moments. But Nicole recovering well from this. But sadly, even though she's going to leave all the fences up if she jumps the last, which she has, it's 90.12, and that drops her down into 45th position as things currently stand in this speed and handiness section of the FEI European Championships for the young riders. Now, Great Britain with another in a moment, but before that, we have Germany with the next to go. We're into the four before the break now. Germany have looked strong. Certainly that very good round from Joanna Beckman a little earlier on, which still sees her sitting in third place at the moment. Now Marie Flick riding 07. Was on the junior team for Germany last year in Spain. Was part of that winning Nations Cup team as well with this horse in Hagen for Germany in the young riders. Also went very well in the team in the Nations Cup in the Netherlands back at the start of June, and certainly found her place very comfortable in the German young riders teams this year. And again, just coming around that corner and then just running off the face of the fence. It's a really unbalancing turn, and this proves to perhaps be the trickiest part of this track. And they've had the last, so 4 seconds added on as well, 96.41 for Marie Flick there for Germany, Cicero 7. So still, it is Belgium, France, Germany, the 1, 2, 3. And then an equal 4 for the moment, we have Spain and France. Oliver Fletcher, Great Britain, sitting in 6th. And it's Great Britain again now with Red Morgan riding Gorla. Red, who was part of the junior European Championship team that finished in 4th place, just shy of the podium 12 months ago in Spain. I'm sure there'll be plenty of eyes in Cheshire keeping an eye on this round. Oh dear, just got too deep. Found themselves grinding to a halt. Didn't have the stride they needed. Now just giving the horse a gentle little pat. Just going to let the arena team back out there just to put the fence back together. And then the bell will sound again to get things underway. So, of course, table C. Oh, he's had it down as well. Now the seconds will be added on. I was going to say there's 6 seconds added on for the rebuild. 4 seconds now for the fence down. Otherwise, they wouldn't have lost a huge amount of time. But there's going to be 10 seconds added on as it currently stands. And he's just taking a little bit of the top end out the pace. Oh dear, they've stopped at the last as well. So, it's the second refusal on the course for the British combination of Red Morgan and Gorla last year, finding their way with the junior team to fourth place this year. It starts with elimination, unfortunately, there. So very, very unusual for them. Another partnership I've seen doing plenty of jumping, plenty of great jumping as well, but today has just proved not to work out for them. Well, the best of the British, Oliver Fletcher, sits in sixth. Of course, in sixth on a 4 penalty score as well. A 4 seconds added in, otherwise he'd be first or second at the moment. But we move on to Denmark now. Maria Barnatwitz-Schu riding here with Chandler 9. That's the next out. Rider in at the moment for Denmark. In her third year now in a row as part of the young rider team for the Danish. Also rode on the junior team in 2019. Well, the seconds just adding on as those fences went down. .24 seconds to add, and not their day. Maria, though, at least finishing. And that was Chandler 9. 103.34 is the final time. So to take us into the break, we have a rider now for Norway. It is Alette Brattang Johnsen riding Pritesh. And Ada, who rode last year in the Young Riders, as in the juniors in 2019 and 2017, has also ridden in ponies and children's. So riding in what is her 6th European Championships for Norway. Well, keeping it neat and tidy, has jumped this clear round so fast, so I speak too soon. And sadly, as they just had to make those little adjustments coming into the double, they found their way into the front rail. 4 seconds out at 85.39, and that was Alette Brattang Johnsen there, and Pritesh. So riding then for Norway. So 2/3 of the way through the speed class here, the opening leg of the FEI European Jumping Championships for the young riders. It is Tristan Guisson the team gold medalist from juniors and young riders in the last 2 years, that is leading the way for Belgium. Alice Lieni, though, very tight behind with a great round for France, and Joanna Beckman still up there, currently in third for Germany. Equal fourth, I said equal, yes, equal fourth, Spain and France, with Diego Ramos Miniero and William Lizier de la Prade. And then in sixth place, it's currently Great Britain's Oliver Fletcher. We'll be back in a few minutes' time after the arena maintenance break with the final third. Well, here we go with the final third of the Table C, the first leg of the FEI European Championships for the young riders. What has been an enthralling class so far, and it is led by Belgium's Tristan Guisson and Natrel Van Hedliti of Z. 73.40 to, as it stands, hold the top spot. From France's Alice Lieni and Emerald Sit, and Germany's Johanna Beckmann and Chinook 8. So that's the 1, 2, 3, and already underway with another chance for France, who have been looking very, very good so far. It's Jules Alessini riding Charlotte 198 on track. Already twisting and turning. This was his ride in the Young Riders last year. Found his way individually into the top 20. Rode in the juniors the previous year in Villamora, where he finished individually in the top 10. You can certainly see the experienced riders understanding the importance of getting off to not only a clear round start, but a strong start in terms of your time. You really need to try and find your way as high as you can here today to set yourself in good stead for those individual medals later this week. Sadly, that goes down, and 4 seconds to be added on to what is otherwise quite a fast round of jumping here. 79.06. So those 4 seconds turning in to, well, again, you can see the cost of it. 75.06 was the original time. Would have otherwise seen them an awful lot higher up, would have put them inside the top 6. Yeah, that time of 75.06 would have otherwise, just to clarify, gone into 4th. But it isn't to be, it's into 14th, and that's the difference that fence has made. Meanwhile, on we go, because as you can see, we have our next rider out on course already. And this is Sweden now. This is Matilda Hollin. Third European Championships for her, although the opening 2 occasions, both of the ponies, Bishop Burton, team silver medalist back in 2018. Also jumped into Dresgum in 2019. I'm sure many of you would know. Of course, the ponies separated from the children, juniors and young riders as a separate European Championship event that will take place in a couple of weeks' time. Well, that 78.13 is 14th in the order. So again, 4 seconds can make a big difference at this point. You know, 74.13 would have been up into the top 3, and it's that level of difference now that those seconds really are making to these riders. Now it's an important round for the Italians, because they'll be looking to try and be well positioned here at home. They went well, the Italians, in the children's this morning. Now, the first Italian rider since the break is Giulia Mattorelli. This is Daquiri, Daniele Z. Part of the Young Riders team last year, also on the junior team, Julia back in 2019 in the Netherlands. Oh, what a round, and into the top 10. I said Italy needed a good round. They got that there with Julia. She left them up, and that makes such a difference. 76.18 goes into the top 8. 8th there with Ataquiri Denis Z. So next to go, it's going to be Ireland. We've been lacking on Irish riders with the way the draw just fell. So, of course, we have to go all the way back to the beginning to find the previous Irish rider. But now it's Seamus Hughes Kennedy with S.E. Rocky. And let's not rule the Irish out of contention at any point this week. This is a young rider who was part of the team that finished 4th last year because the Irish just missing out on the podium in the young riders. They were on the podium, though, with Seamus back in 2019 when he was in the juniors and took that team bronze medal. He's certainly proved his talent. He's a rider that some of you will remember in 2019 won the 7-year-old final at the World Championships on Cusgrange Cavadora. Well, that is into 12th place. 77.06 is the final time for Seamus Hughes with a lovely little round of jumping there. It really is compacting in terms of times as it stands. And Ireland then with another strong round, and that will keep them very much in contention. We've got more Irish riders to come in due course. There's still, another 2 Irish riders in the draw. In fact, 3 Irish riders in the draw. I was going to say, I'm sure we've only seen 2. Right now, Portugal. Luisa Rota Osorio riding Yasmin de Remida. So this is Portugal. Rode in the Children's European Championships in 2014 and 2015, but has been away from the European Championship hunt since then until this year, getting selected in the Young Riders team. They jumped very well in the Grand Prix. Been a good performance at Bolsworth in the 3-star a few weeks back. Roll back turn to the plank, 4 seconds to add currently. Well, that's 8 seconds to add, 91.10 for Luisa Rota Osorio and Yasmin de Remida. So just outside the top 50. The Swiss are next, and Switzerland's Geraldine Stormann now with Castelot. Rode on the Children's European Championship team back in 2018. She made her debut at these championships in 2021 in Villamora. She was part of the team that took the silver medal in the juniors, which she was also part of the junior team last year as well. Now stepping up into young riders this year. Jumped at home in St. Gallen in the 5-star classes this year, picking up some really valuable experience. These two, we should note as well, won the Grand Prix here in Gorla Minore back in April at that European Youth, or that Youth Championship, that Youth, the FEI Youth Series that runs with the Nations Cup. So it is a happy hunting ground. This is another nice little round of jumping. She does enjoy jumping here. She won that Grand Prix, as I said, 78.05 today to go into 16th place for the Swiss there, Geraldine Stormann and Castelot, that Grand Prix winner from April at that youth international event. So many of the teams, in fact, I remember doing that event. It was really good to see, and you could really tell a lot of the teams bringing horses and riders here to give them the chance in this amazing facility to jump prior to coming back to the Europeans this summer. Well, next to go, it's the fifth of the riders for Great Britain. Their best rider still sitting in 6th. That is Oliver Fletcher. Now the turn of Claudia Moore, who steps up into the young riders, having had success in ponies and juniors. She's a multiple medalist, including an individual bronze medalist from 2018 in Bishop Burton, where she was part of the gold medal winning pony team, also team silver the following year in juniors, team bronze in 2021 in Villamora, and we know the junior team just shy of the medals last year. And this horse that she rides is Harthester, which has been a ride in those 2 junior European Championship outings. Now into young riders as well. Had a very good win in Sancourt in the Grand Prix, the ranking Grand Prix, back at the start of June. Classy little round so far, still clear as well. That is going to be absolutely key to any round, not only Claudia's. Great Britain have had a couple of difficult rounds recently, but not with Claudia. Absolutely brilliant from her. And Harthester, 77.66 into 14th. So great round of jumping there to jump it clear. And, you know, anyone that is getting up into the top 20 is going to keep their cells nice and tight in terms of those faults in the way the division happens. Of course, when it's worked out at the end of this class to give us those scores and points going forward into what will be the next couple of days of competition. But this table C, certainly the way we start things off. Well, as you can see, we're starting off already for the next to go. And this is now another chance for Spain. Mario Perechetes and Neptunus van der Beckenbrock Z. For reference, each athlete's time is multiplied by a coefficient of 0.5 and converted into points. And those points, of course, rounded to 2 decimal places. athletes, of course, the lowest number of points in this conversion will be given 0 penalties, and the other athletes credited by the number of penalties represented in terms of the difference of points away from that leading athlete. So that's how they work out those sort of mere fractions of faults, but they make such an impact when you get to the final day, because they can, if you just keep jumping clear, which is always the aim in a championship, because it makes the table C such an important class. It's like having the jump off at the beginning rather than the end. The teams, it's a different affair because they all start on 0, and of course that can still, they've lost a shoe or they've lost an overage boot coming into that double, and this, with 4 seconds to add, is 84.32, and just into the top 40 there for that partnership for Spain. But yeah, it's the teams is different because everyone will start on 0 and go from the beginning, but it's those individual rankings where the table C, if you're looking to try and take an individual medal, you've got to be able to perform. And Tristan Guisson knows that. He leads at the moment. Alice Lieni sitting second, Jana Bachmann in third. It's Belgium, France and Germany, the 1, 2, 3. So next up, it'll be the turn of Finland's Annie Herpre next to go, riding Callboy. Rode in the Junior Championships as an individual 12 months ago. Recently jumping in Drammen. Well, that's not a fence that's caused too many issues, but just above the Italian water trays, I mentioned them right the way back at the start. I absolutely think they're brilliant. Never seen actually water trays in different colours before. That's something new to me anyhow. Well, that also goes, a couple of fences here that have gone down, and again another to bring the score up to 12. Not really fences that have caused too many issues. Jumps the plank nicely. Just opening up that turn, coming on the 9, and then getting caught at the second part of the double. It's going to be 16 seconds if they clear the last to add on to the time for Callboy and Annie Herplier there for Finland as they cross the finish line. So that was Callboy. Next to go will be Brigitte Emily Miera. As example, winners of the Table C, the speed class, and the young riders in Drammen just very, very recently. They were also on the Nations Cup team there that finished third. They finished fourth in the Grand Prix, had a really good run at the Youth International over the course of a few shows. And now, big test today for this Norwegian rider. 1 or 2 Norwegian riders left in this draw. Nice big jump. Just having to just keep the horse together a little bit, keep that control. So this horse working really hard to make sure that it picks its feet up over the fences. Unfortunately, though, they ran out of luck as they tap that plank. It is just the 4 to add, though. 83.01 into 35th for Brigitte Emilie Mira there with example. So 4 seconds added on. So from Portugal, we will see our next go. Portugal's final rider out here this afternoon. This is Diego Portela Mendes riding Div Alitino C. Rode this horse in Villamora 2 years ago as part of the young rider team. Brought back into the fold this year. Just gets caught on that back rail. It's a big wide stretch, that triple bar, and sadly for them, back rail just a stretch too far, and they're caught at the wall that follows. So 8 seconds to add currently. It becomes 12. And safely over the last 12 it is to add 92.13. So that just into the top 60 by 1. So that was for Portugal. That was Diego Portela Mendes and Div Alitino C. So from Portugal, it's going to be to the Dutch now. Netherlands' final rider into the table C. Their best rider is still sitting in 7th for the moment, Sky Monoskov, G. Verino Blue. The best of the Dutch riders so far. This is Liane Corvar riding Diamond for Pleasure. First time at the Youth European Championships. These two were top 5 in the Grand Prix, in the 2-star Grand Prix in Rotterdam. They were in the Nations Cup team that finished 4th in Hagen. Still clear here for the Dutch rider. It's a lovely little turn back, really neat and tidy. Saw that stride on the turn, jumps out of the double well. This is a good round. It's a clear round, and that goes into 14th. Diamond for Pleasure. Liane Corrivar there for the Netherlands, putting in a very fine performance as well. So I'm sure they'll be over the moon with the way that's just gone. Certainly well deserved. Well, next to get Belgium. Belgium leading, as we know. It's not just the fact Belgium are leading. They look ominous in their performances because they've got Leon Brochat and Matthew Borrowed down in 8th and 9th currently. So they've got 3 riders in the top 10 as well as the lead. Aaron Tiskins is their final rider, and this is Hurricane, the last of the Belgium contingent here in the Young Riders. Brought back again into the fold, having ridden twice for Belgium in ponies back in 2017 and 18. Part of a winning performance as well in Zuurwald in the Young Riders. Also went well here in Gorla back in April. Put in a good performance in the Grand Prix as well in Centaur back in the beginning of that month. But that has gone the double at the end of that line, 10B. See the front rail missing. So 4 seconds to add. Well, they finish on 81.45, top 30 for the moment for Aaron and for Hurricane for Belgium. Still a lot of jumping to come this week, but that was the final rider for Belgium. We've still got a lot of riders to watch here. Riders for Hungary in a moment. We've got a couple, 3 left to go for Ireland, 2 to go for Germany. We've got in there as well, what do we got? 2 for the Swiss. We've got Denmark, we've got Sweden, we've got Norway, we've got the Czech Republic. So plenty still to go. But this is Hungary. Hamor, ridden by Leah Sestiniani. Rode in the Junior European Championships last year in Spain. Now, did that go? I think it did. Yes, it did. Was on the Nations Cup team with this horse in Lumporshausen. Just the fall. Quite steady in terms of time. It's going to be, what, 82.79, so 86.79 for that partnership, riding, of course, for Hungary there. Leah Sestiniani riding with Hamor. Well, back to Ireland. As I said a moment ago, Ireland with 3 still left in the draw here. Or, well, I'm expecting it to be Ireland. Yes, it is still Ireland, coming to the first. Rhys Williams riding Playboy JTZ, the young Irish jockey that was, of course, the European champion in the children's category back in 2018 in Fontainebleau in France, where the team took the silver, but it was individual gold for Rhys. He then rode in 2022 last year on the junior team, which took the bronze medal. So 2 European outings for Ireland and 3 medals, including an individual gold. So now looking to try and put in a big performance today. Not wasting any time. Finds that inside curve back to the wall. Just trying to keep the rhythm, but trying to make sure that that rhythm is sufficient to just be able to cover the ground nicely. Not wasting any time. He went nice and wide on the way in to give himself a very good sort of rollback turn. Nice strong round of jumping this. Really strong round of jumping, because that has gone into second place, 74.75. Rhys Williams, Playboy JTZ, has just put himself right in contention here in Italy at the Young Rider European Championships for 2023. The young man that took the individual gold in the children's in 2018 knows what importance this particular class holds, and comes to individual medals. And boy, oh boy, was that a brilliant round for Ireland. So Rhys Williams, Playboy JTZ, 74-75, into second behind Tristan Wiesant and ahead of Alice Lieni. So the rest will shuffle. Tristan still leads though, 73-40, as we are out on the course now with a rider very quick to the start actually, was Elizabeth Königs. It's Austria's final rider of the day. Riding them with Cancun 18. And down goes the triple bar. Rode in the juniors in 2021 at the Ponies in Poland back in 2019. Eight seconds to add. 85.54 then is the final time for the Austrian rider. So that was Elizabeth Königs there and Cancun 18. So we're going to flip back to Ireland for the next to go. Niamh McAvoy going next. Another rider that has medals already in her career, part of the Pony European Championship gold medal winning team in Poland in 2019, where she also finished inside the top 10 individually, and then as well on that junior bronze medal winning team last year. So again, immediately in a really forward tempo from the off here. She's got this going and is pushing on, and look at that, dropping, turning on the inside. Comes to the triple bar. Out over the upright. Again, hugs the inside line, comes inside the flower bed. Ireland at the moment in second with Rhys Williams. Looking for another strong round if they can bring this together for Niamh McAvoy. Temple Patrick, welcome Limerick. Lovely turn. Hold tight, this is quick. It might not be quick enough for the lead, but it's another brilliant round from Ireland, and that'll go forth with Niamh McAvoy and Temple Patrick. Welcome Limerick. Ireland 74.93 into fourth place. So 2 for Ireland in the top 4. What a performance this is from the young Irish riders here. They certainly mean business and are really looking to set their stall out to try for those individual medals over the course of these days ahead here. This has been such a phenomenal start to the FEI European Championships here in Gorla Minore. The young riders really coming alive. It's a real fight out there from these young stars to try and battle their way into a really strong position here on day one. If you want to win medals, you need to be in a strong place at the end of day one. Now, this is the turn of Poland's final rider today. This is Natalia Kubik, riding here with Zini Blue. Coming back to the little water. Natalia making her Youth European Championship debut. over the final fence. 12 seconds added in and 102.25 there for Natalia Kubik as the last of the day for Poland. Still not done yet. 2 to go for Switzerland. So we got Denmark, we got Ireland, we got the Czech Republic, Sweden, Norway, and in a moment 2 to go for Germany. 2 big challenges from Germany as well, you would expect. 2 now in a row for Germany as well. Leah Sophia Gut is the first of them with Cantura 2. Rode last for Germany at the Pony European Championship back in 2018. Just shy of the top 10 that day. They finished in 11th individually. These two jumping very well in Hagen. They jump well individually, but a bit of a bad run in the team. But their overall performances have been very consistent. They were part of the team here in Gorla back in April. This not holding back either. Leah pushing on. Another rider clearly understanding the importance of this particular round of jumping. Gets a lovely turn back to the plank. Going to be a little bit down on those leading trio, but this is still heading towards a very quick round of jumping. In fact, perhaps quicker than I could have thought. It's not going to... Wow. Well, I thought it wasn't going to challenge the top 3. It has challenged the top 3. She's gone into the top 3 with a brilliant last line. I have to say, if all of the turnbacks to that plank, that without question looked to be one of the very best. It was quick, it was neat, it was tidy, and it was clear. So she's pushed herself right the way up there. Germany now, who have had a great start with, well, we saw Joanna Beckman a little earlier. She's now dropped down into, into 6th place. And now we've got Leah Sophia Gut up there in 3rd. Now Magnus Schmidt, another big challenge for Germany here, with Miss Baloo coming forward as the last of the German riders here on day 1. Now, did that go? I'm not sure as the camera moved on. We'll have a look as we come back past it. No, I think it's still up. Magnus, who was on the 2019 Pony Championship team that finished 4th. He also finished individually 4th. But it's his first time at these Europeans. Some good results this year in Hagen. Nicely done. He is on the 4 as he comes into the final line. 4 seconds to add. And it becomes a time of 81.39 for Magnus Schmidt there with Miss Baloo. So still Tristan Guisson though leading the way. We mustn't forget Belgium's young man, the double team gold medalist from the last 2 European Championships, an individual silver medalist from his time in juniors 2 years ago. He's leading on day 1 in the young riders here. Meanwhile, we move on to a combination from Norway now. Hannah Cecilia Wickland riding here with Fatimos. Another rider who has twice been at these European Championships in Austria in 2015 in the children's category, and also in the children's at Mill Street in 2016. 12 seconds to add. Clears the plank. It is 90.31. 12 seconds added in. So 90.31 the final time. So that was, of course, with Fatimas for Norway, Hannah Cecilia Wickland. 6 more to go. Sweden now with their final rider. This is Cassia Bjora riding Lincourt Louis Dam. And the rider with 2 previous outings at the European Championships, the Youth Europeans in the children's, also in 2015 and 2016. Riding a horse called Little Grace, part of the Swedish team back then. On the 4 as they come from the wall down to fence 9. It is going to be 4 seconds to add in, isn't it? So they finish on a time of 85.22. We're into the final 5, and now to the Czech Republic, Sara Vinkaklova riding How Easy. Sara, who's got 5-star experience, she's jumped in several of the Global Champions Tour Grand Prix already, including in Cannes this year. She was also in the Grand Prix in the 5-star in Sopot, jumping well on the team for the young riders that won in Prague. But she's certainly got some very strong experience at 5-star level, most recently jumping in Monaco, Monte Carlo, on the Port Hercule side. Shouldn't miss on the fact that this is her 6th European Championship outing, having jumped 3 times in juniors. It's her 3rd time in the young riders team. Still clear as well. Well, there we have it. It is one fence that's gone down because it's the second to last. The back part of the double has fallen for 4, and it becomes 82.95. So that makes a big difference to where you finish with it all being so tight. So she goes into 40th slot. That was Sara Vinkaklova there, and How Easy. 4 more to go. 2 for Switzerland, 1 for Denmark, 1 for Ireland. But we'll have the first of the Swiss riders there for Thibaut Keller. Happy Girl T on the team in the Young Riders last year, was on the silver medal winning team in Villamora in 2021 as a junior, where he finished in the top 10 individually. He's got going nicely over the first few fences. Just the 4 seconds to add currently. And that becomes 8. Big leap over the last, though, to finish with the 8 seconds. Added in 82.27 to get into the top 40 for the moment. Because there are still 3 to go. We'll see another for the Swiss at the end. Denmark next up. Emily Moscar Christiansen riding Shiva Enzo. Well, at least I had a go at the first name. Syvejeegaards. So I went with Sjoregaards, and I apologise for any of my mispronunciations today, but do your best whenever you can. Meanwhile, Emily getting started. 2015, she rode on the children's team in Austria. This is a nice round of jumping at the moment. Won't be the fastest, but working hard to keep those fences up. Plank goes, and it's 8 seconds now. Well, 93.37 is the final time with the seconds added in for the last of Denmark's riders here today. Emily Moscar Christiansen leaving us just 2 to go. 1 for Ireland, 1 for the Swiss. And Ireland, of course, in 2nd and in 5th here on day 1 at the moment. What chance? Another rider for Ireland in the top 10. Potential is certainly there because it's Max Washman's turn with Cottini. His ride, of course, that last year took him to 5th place individually in the young riders in Olivenova. He was on the team that finished, therefore, in 4th. He as well, the individual European gold medalist from ponies back in 2019 when he both individual and team gold medalist. He took a individual silver the year previous to that in 2018. He's jumped in some big 5-star classes this year, starting the year out in Wellington in Florida, where he also rode on the Nations Cup team out there for Ireland. More recently, jumping at Le Bull, and then he was on the young riders team that finished 3rd in Hagen. Being a little bit careful, sensible riding down through that double. Again, using that line of going wide, and it allows you to turn back early. And again, this is a really strong round for the Irish. Will he make top 10? Well, so close. 11th in the order, 75.50. 3 for Ireland in the top 11 here on day one is quite remarkable. There's been some superb performances from them. We've seen some great performances from the Germans, from Belgium, from France, from Spain. It's really consistent riding, and it's going to be a brilliant, brilliant battle going forward this week, both for individual honours and then when we get to focus on the teams in a couple of days' time for the young riders. But the last out on day one for this FEI jumping European Championships here in Gorla Minore. It is Swiss rider Jonas Schindelek riding Katrina J. Young rider team for the third year in a row, having ridden on the children's teams back in 2015 and 2016. And that has gone coming out of the double. So the top of the order, you can guarantee, is not going to change. And it has been a fabulous start for Tristan Guisson. We'll finish this round first. Well, that makes 8 seconds again. It's coming out of a double that catches them out. And then 82.89 is where they will finish in terms of time, and 42nd in the order. But the young man that was part of the gold medal winning teams in the last 2 years, juniors and then young riders for Belgium, and was an individual silver medalist for Belgium as a junior 2 years ago, Tristan Guisson, has started off in perfect form here in the young riders, because he has won the speed and handiness, the Table C. Rhys Williams, though, will be very, very happy for Ireland, with Playboy finishing there in second, and Leah Sophia Gart putting Germany in contention here on day one with third place. Alice Lieni in fourth for France. Niamh McAvoy finishing fifth for Ireland. Then you had Jona Beckman for Germany in sixth. Diego Ramos Minero and William Liège de la Prade for Spain and France tied equal in seventh place. And Oliver Fletcher, Great Britain's highest rider, finding his way into the top 9 there. Well, brilliantly done by all of them, but some great performances up and down the line. So many of them have kept themselves well within target of individual honours later this week. Of course, the conversion, as I mentioned, will take place to bring all those scores into line. That will get released a little bit later when somebody pushes the magic button and it all kicks out. We know that Tristan Guisson will start on 0 going forward into the second round of the individual. The others will all have their penalties and points adjusted accordingly. But the teams will all start on 0 when they kick off in a couple of days' time. We've got still the individual competition for the juniors here tomorrow morning, and then team competition for the children kicks off here tomorrow afternoon. There's 6 amazing days of sport to bring you live here from Gorla Minore in Italy. It is going to be fascinating, and if day one is anything to go by, it's going to get awfully, awfully close. The excitement will build and build. We'll bring it you live here across Clip My Horse and FEI TV, wherever you're joining us from around the globe. I hope you've enjoyed day one. Let's get set for plenty more action. I'll leave you with a presentation. Thank you for joining in, though. It's been a cracking day of sport here from the FEI European Championships of 2023.